Adult voters are not the only ones keeping their eyes on the election. Some students in town are taking an active interest as well. Municipal producer Yu Xiaowin has the story of the League of Women Voters Needham High School Club.
On a frigid February morning, the League of Women Voters Needham High School Club hosted a vocal discussion on whether the voting age should be lowered to 16.
The future impacts of creating more young people voting.
Encouraged by the League of Women Voters of Needham, Eva Gorenberg and Eleanor Mackey started the club as an effort to increase voting and civic engagement among students.
This was a great way to do that in a super nonpartisan way as well as something that's super local. It's something that you can definitely affect, voter participation at the high school, even when you maybe can't affect these huge national issues.
Get people pre-registered so then when you turn 18.
The club runs voter registration drives on campus and give birthday bags to students turning 18, which contain information on voter registration, voting, civic engagement, and candy. This past January, during a Friday lunchtime, they registered and pre-registered 64 students.
So we had lots of people, we would be like, oh, do you want to register to vote? And lots of kids would be register to vote for what? Or who am I voting for?
Yeah.
So misconceptions about how that works. Lots of kids didn't know you can pre-register in Massachusetts when you're 16 or 17. You don't just register when you're 18.
People often talk about how young people are uninvolved, and that's definitely true, but it's not true that young people don't have opinions. There's all sorts of people have these ideas that they're passionate about and things that they're upset about. It's just that they don't connect that to the actual participation in politics, and so that's an important, definitely gap that needs to be bridged.
They also assist at the Needham Civics Bee and engage in other local projects. In the fall of 2018, 4 of the club members presented ballot questions at the League of Women Voters Ballot Question Forum. They articulated reasons for both sides and answered impromptu questions from the audience.
When we want big changes in big ways, a lot of the times that happens with big changes in really small areas of the country, and then those add up.
Well immersed in both school and town affairs, Gorenberg and Mackey see how young people form their early civic awareness through local agendas.
I know that there's definitely kids, who wish that we had, an indoor pool or a skating rink that belonged to the town, or, things that again seem fantastical until you think that the people who create those things are members of local government, and that's who you end up voting for.
Before the Massachusetts primary election, the Girls sent out resources about voting and information on different candidates.
Often a mindset in Massachusetts that voting in the general election doesn't have as much of an impact. The primaries are somewhere where there is this, it's huge impact. There actually are candidates really in question, and so it's important to have some sort of informational session on that.
We have a lot of candidates who have very similar stances on issues, so kids understanding the nuances or why people like them and why people don't of each candidate, and we're going to try to do that, or at least provide kids with resources.
Now that the annual town election is just weeks away, the club is planning to encourage high schoolers to pay attention to local issues. For the Needham Channel News, I'm Yu Xiaoyuan.